What's up, Juventini? Alberto here, got all your Juve news. All right, Kieza and Vlahovic contract talks, but Vlahovic, apparently with him, trust is key. We're going to get to the details being reported. Midfield mashup, is that what we're heading for against Napoli with the news of McKennie and Rabiot's injuries? We also have another injury to discuss that was just reported today, and then Allegri's future, all right, still has a lot of rumors surrounding it, and we're going to look at Giuntoli's words ahead of the game against Frosinone as well, and then Elkan decides on Champions League format over Super League. All that, much more. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, Federico Chiesa, his agent, was present in Turin for the match against Frosinone. This could be a sign that more discussion talks are set to become underway this week. We will see, of course. As far as the rumors around it, still we have gone back to square one, which we were at this past summer, where it was Federico Chiesa and also Dusan Vlahovic versus Massimiliano Allegri and this style, all right? And they could leave to get away from it. In the end, both players stayed. Right now, the two players themselves have much different stories around them. Right now, Vlahovic, the reports are that he's become very close to Massimiliano Allegri. He's also been on an absolute tear for the 2024 calendar year. As far as Chiesa goes, he has not been able to find that type of rhythm in performance. He is actually on the opposite side of it. He is struggling tremendously, and the speculation around him and Allegri's relationship is at an all-time high. And you have the contract scenario, all right? So who knows what's going to happen? We have to carry out these rumors as far as the end of the season goes to see if a renewal is found. In the meantime, the names of Goodmanson and Felipe Anderson are still heavily linked with Juventus as some potential options on the flip side should something go down that sees Chiesa leaving Juventus. We will have to see what develops there, but more talks are going to be coming. We just have to see what they decide on. In the background of it all, apparently there is a gentleman's agreement that Chiesa will sign at minimum a 1-year renewal to avoid us losing him on a free. Time will tell. Let's see what happens. As far as Vlahovic goes, contract talks are set to begin very soon. As far as spreading out that salary, that is still Juve's goal. As far as him and any type of moves in the summer or whatnot, he has made a very strong case for himself to stay. Cesare Prandelli actually said in terms of Vlahovic, once he feels the trust, he is absolutely unstoppable. We were posed a question on the podcast yesterday. Check it out if you haven't, where myself and Lucci were discussing Vlahovic. Lucci went as far to say he'd keep him at all costs. But the question was asked, do you have enough trust in Dusan Vlahovic? And now I'm going to lay it out for you. Do you have enough trust to move forward with Dusan Vlahovic at all costs? Let me have it in the comments. Now, as far as the injury report goes, we have a surprise injury this morning that we did not hear about yesterday after the match, and that is Kenan Yildiz with some discomfort in his thigh. He is not listed as anything serious, just a day-to-day situation that we have to monitor, but he is on the injured report. Rabiot and McKennie, those are the big ones. Rabiot, a broken big toe. McKennie, a dislocated left shoulder. Both time frames somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks. They are definitely out for the Napoli game. Now, as far as midfield that we go into that game with, you have Alcaraz, Locatelli, Miretti, Caviglia, and Nonge. But there are reports that Massimiliano Allegri might use Danilo in the midfield to help out with the situation. This is something he has done before. We have seen Danilo play in the midfield in a pinch. What I would do, I told you on the podcast yesterday. Again, check it out if you haven't. For me, it's Caviglia, Locatelli, and Alcaraz. That's what I would do in the midfield. But what would you do? Hit me in the comments. All right. Now, as far as Allegri goes, well, his future still very much in question. There are reports circulating today that what they're trying to do is create this Agnelli era in terms of what we're hearing from media, and saying that there is still a push coming internally. Internal pressure is what they've listed it as, to get rid of this Agnelli era. And Cherubini is one listed as on the outside looking in because of this Agnelli era and move away from it. Allegri could be in that category, and that's what they're trying to paint this picture as. However, Giuntoli, we heard his words ahead of the game against Frosinone, and that is that the desire to continue is very much there from the coach as well as from himself. He's been apparently pretty consistent in everything he's saying behind the scenes, according to these reports. So the internal pressure would be seen as coming from someone else, all right? But it seems like all signs are pointing to the exact same spot we were in last summer, where we're not going to know until it just finally comes down and it is laid out there for us. But what they're listing as a certainty is that Max Allegri will not coach Juventus on a final contract year. That's all they remain consistent with. Hey, time will tell as far as that goes as well. Let's see. As far as Elkan goes, apparently he has chosen to go and back the Champions League revised format over the Super League. All right. So now I am going to say this. Take this with a grain of salt as well, because again, with the certain circumstances that Juventus has been in and everything that we underwent last season, we should keep a safe distance from the Super League for the time being. So I'm not going to jump on this one and believe it wholeheartedly at the moment, all right? But these reports suggest that that's the route he wants to go. I wouldn't be surprised if it is final and that's his final decision. But I feel like right now the best decision, and I think they can all see it, we can all see it, is to keep a safe distance from that and continue to do the work we're doing, which is correct the finances. Hey, you guys know the drill. Let me know what you think about that and all the other news you just heard here today. All right, like the video, share the content, subscribe if you haven't already. All right, and let's mix it up. I'll be back tomorrow with another daily update. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti.